When one imagines scary water-dwelling creatures, otters don't tend to be very high on the list. But what about a man-eating otter? Wolf hybrid strong enough to smash rocks with its head. That's a little scarier. Irish folklore is full of mythical creatures, and amongst them stands the terrifying Dobhar chú, a legendary creature that has captured the imaginations of generations. Said to live in Ireland's lakes and waterways, there have been many sightings of this strange beast over the years. However, one stands out above the rest: a tragic tale of a woman's death and her husband's subsequent revenge. Interestingly, unlike most bits of folklore, there's actually evidence that this story happened, and that the Dobhar chú might indeed exist. Stay away from the water's edge. Stories of the Dobhar chú go back centuries, and, given this is Irish folklore and oral storytelling we're talking about, details change from story to story. The Dobhar chú is usually depicted as a kind of dog otter or dogfish hybrid. Eyewitness accounts have often described it as having pitch black or deep brown slimy fur, but others have said it is white with black ears or even striped. A relatively recent sighting from 2000 on Owie Island in Connemara described the king otter as being a large animal with dark fur and bright orange flippers. Estimations that it's around 7 feet, 2.1 meters, in length have led to some describing it as the Irish crocodile. This nickname is a little misleading, though, since the creature isn't said to have any other reptilian features. According to legend, the beast's skin is magical. It's said to have protective properties. Carrying just an inch, 2.5 centimeters, of it will protect your ship from sinking, keep your house from falling down, and make the wearer safe from any kind of harm. Unfortunately, getting said pelt isn't exactly easy. According to some folklore, the Dobhar chú can only be killed with a silver bullet. And, unfortunately, whoever kills it will die exactly 24 hours later. That's not the worst of it. If you're planning on hunting the Dobhar chú, you'll need some serious protection. Legend states they have a taste for human flesh and always come in pairs. While they live in the water, they're more than happy to chase their two-legged prey on the land and are incredibly fast. Oh, and they're strong enough to headbutt straight through giant boulders. Rather romantically, however, they mate for life and woe betide anyone who kills a Dobhar chú's mate. The creatures have been spotted all over Ireland, leading some to believe they're migratory. They've been spotted in Ireland's lakes, rivers, and along its coast. For example, on the 1st of May 1968, 2 locals spotted one on Loch Serheen on a chill island. The British folklorist Dr. Catherine Briggs also found a reported instance of a Dobhar chú being seen at Dew Hill. Supposedly over 100 other normal otters accompanied it. Legends of the Dobhar chú. While there have been plenty of sightings of the Dobhar chú over the years, there aren't actually that many legends associated with it. In fact, there's only one well-documented one, although it has several different variations. This story tells how on September 22, 1722, a woman called Grace Grania Connolly was attacked while washing her clothes, or bathing, in Glenade Loch, a lake in County Antrim. As she did her washing, a giant beast burst out of the water and brutally attacked her. Not long after, her concerned husband Terence came looking for her and found the Dobhar chú resting near his wife's half-eaten corpse. The enraged husband attacked the creature, either stabbing it with his dagger or shooting it with his shotgun, depending on the version of the tale you're listening to. Either way, with its dying breath, the beast is said to have let out a blood-chilling screech that echoed across the Irish countryside. This screech brought its mate, or parent in some versions, out of the lake, ready to feast on the husband. This is where the story's details tend to get mixed up. In some versions of the tale, the beast attacks Terence. He tries to escape, but his terrified horse flees, bolting to the village of Goranard, also known as Bad Horse. In this version, Terence is forced to stand his ground and fight the second, larger Dobhar chú where he stands. In the most well-known version of the story, however, told to folklorist Joe McGowan by a local, Patrick Doherty, things went down quite differently. Firstly, Terence had a companion, either a friend or his brother, and second, his horse didn't bolt. In this version, the two men escape on their horses and ride them for many miles until they reach Cashel-Garran or Castlegarden Hill in County Sligo. Once there, they stop at a blacksmith to reshoe their exhausted steeds. While waiting, they tell the blacksmith what's happened to them. He warns Terence that when the Dobhar chú attacks, it will drop its head and attack his horse's legs first. Sure enough, the Dobhar chú then appears on the horizon and begins charging at the 3 men. As it goes for his horse's legs, Terence draws his blade and slices it through the back of the monster's neck. Evidence of Dobhar chú activity. It's a fun story for sure, but the most interesting thing about this legend is there's evidence to back it up. In Conwall Cemetery in Glenade, County Leitrim, a gravestone can be found that depicts the Dobhar chú in its last moments. Head thrown back, blade through its neck. The gravestone is dedicated to Grace, and on it her husband is recorded as Ter McLaughlin, an abbreviation of Terence. Supposedly Terence had a similar gravestone, but his was lost at some point. Besides Grace's headstone, there isn't a whole lot of hard evidence. In 2000, an Irish artist, Sean Corcoran, claimed to have spotted and photographed a Dobhar chú at Oe Island while producing a tourist guide of the area. He was so convinced of what he'd seen, he featured his story in the guide, which was released on DVD in 2009. In recent years, the Dobhar chú has drawn the attention of cryptozoologists who have come up with their own theories. Some of these are pretty far-fetched and include time travel, displaced Loch Ness babies, and even fairies. However, one popular theory isn't too crazy. It has been suggested that if real, the Dobhar chú is a descendant of the Siamogale Melilutra, an ancient relative of the modern-day otter. These terrifying giant otters were around the size of a large wolf, weighed roughly 50 kilograms, 110 lb, and had a powerful bite that easily crushed the bones or shells of their prey. The only problem with this theory is that the Siamogale Melilutra was around 6 million years ago and its fossils are only found in China. The Dobhar chú is meant to be migratory, but surely not that migratory. There are also extant giant otters in the Amazon alive today. These are not nearly large enough to be the Dobhar chú, however, and the same problem of geography applies to them. They are in South America, not Ireland. Disappointingly, despite all the sightings, it seems pretty clear that the Dobhar chú is just another fun legend. It's another part of a large tapestry of water-dwelling beasties said to haunt the watery British Isles alongside Silkies, Kelpies, and of course, the Loch Ness Monster. There's even a similar old Scottish bit of folklore that tells of a king of otters on the Isle of Skye. This being said, plenty of cryptids have turned out to be real. Skeptical zoologists have ended up with egg on their faces more than once. Whether real or fake, the Dobhar chú is woven into the fabric of County Leitrim's landscapes and has endured through generations, captivating the hearts and minds of those who dare to delve into the realms of the unknown. Something came out of that lake and killed poor Grace. A giant dog otter sounds about right.